morning. Happy Tuesday and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. It is February 1st, the first day of February. Good morning, tribe. Viva! Woohoo! Get your coffee and welcome. And I am one of the dynamic duo. I could be Robin if you want. I don't mind. You could be Batman. It's okay. I don't mind.
I'm always Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but she doesn't have a dynamic duo.
I know.
So, but that's fine.
I'm never apart. So good. I'm messing with you.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So I am the badass Buddha, Lori Monaco. I am, my business is Align Yourself Inc. I am a teacher, speaker, coach, specializing in mindfulness and transformation. I am a chiropractic physician. I am a weight loss and wellness specialist, a published author, and just downright badass.
There you go. I like that ending. Good morning, buenos dias, Kathy, Milagros, Erica Balahala, Deb Voitek. Thank you.
Kathy Louise.
Yes. I am La Margarita. I am Mother Moon's favorite child. I am the lover of love, the lover of words. I am your end-of-life doula, your sacred healer, your spiritual coach. I am your author, your writer. I am your artiste. I am your notary. What else?
She's a traveling notary too. She's a mobile notary.
And your wedding officiant. So if you're anywhere in Florida, call me. I'll marry your ass.
Technically, you can marry anybody. You're not state bound, right?
My wedding officiancy is through my notary here. But
yeah, that's right.
As an ordained minister, I can marry. Even if I go to vacation to Australia, I can marry somebody.
Hint, hint. So if you want to get married in Australia, you could take Gladiator Guru with you. Marry you.
So good morning. My eye is leaking this morning. Good morning, buenos dias, namaste, mi gente. Thank you for being here. February 1st, we're entering the month of love, the month of Black history, the month of cheating us out of 2 days every 3
days of a month.
Yes. Look, we are sashaying our ass right into February as a tribe. How amazing is that? Huh?
Yeah, sashaying. Strutting. I want to strut. Can you could sashay. I just want to strut.
My hips go boom, boom, boom. You see my hips coming before you see my lips coming. I'm okay.
You don't see your hips coming before because you're sideways. You're like me. You'd have to be walking sideways for the hips to come in first.
No, I said you see my hips coming before you see my lips coming because my hips are wide, giving the illusion that I have a big ass, but it's just the illusion.
Me too. I'm the same way. I've got big hips and not much tush in the back. I don't have the gadunk or whatever, the junk in the trunk. My kids do. Two of my two youngest, they have such nice little booties. I love it. They're cheeky. I always wanted a cheeky butt.
You know, at least I got a small waist and wide hips. Like, we always want what we don't have. When you got straight hair, you want curly hair. When you got curly hair, you wish you got straight hair. So Erica says the Lunar New Year.
Okay. Yes, the Chinese that's the Lunar New Year's, the Chinese New Year.
Yesterday it was Chinese New Year's.
Oh, I thought it's February. It starts February 1st. Oh, it started January 31st. Maybe.
Some people were posting it up yesterday. That's how I know.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So who else came on? So we have Michelle Imar Rivera. Good morning.
Bienvenida.
Ana Laura. Good morning.
Ana Laura
here. All right. I'm typing in my stuff. So tell us about the coffee. Talk about Tuesdays. Let's hear the chat about the coffee before we get moving and grooving.
Let me tell you.
Tell me.
For those up north, they laugh when I say I'm cold here in Florida, but it's 46 degrees here.
And 13 here. Right, Chanel? Chanel's on. Good morning, Chanel. She's attest to it.
It's about me right now.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
It's cold, right? So I said, should I do my coffee first? No, because then I have to do another one for the show because I don't like to reheat my coffee. So this is just me driving myself bananas. So I go take my shower, I warm up a bit, I get ready, then I run to get my coffee. And then this is, of course, naturally orgasmic coffee because that is all I'm drinking. Carmen Nieves. So what is coffee?
Carmen. Woo,
Today,
we missed you.
that coffee was that nice fleece blanket covering me as I danced while making it. This coffee is so hot. It's like that. Whoo, you know that give you the what is? They're not even butterflies. They give you the shudders. You know when it goes sits on your tongue and then you feel the heat, like those kisses on your neck that makes you like skip a beat. That's what the coffee's doing for me today. It is my lover today. Me, my cafe.
Why'd your lover make you get up though? I would have been keeping my ass in bed without lover.
Responsibilities called Viva Cafe con Leche. I probably would have stood an extra hour in the bed too.
Damn.
But
So you got your ass out of that. You got your ass out of your warm bed into your cold house for the tribe.
For the tribe.
All right.
Yes, it was cold because I didn't put the heater in last night. And I paid for it this morning. I was hot last night. I don't know. Anyway, here we are. And I'm so Talia, look at my nieces on. Dios te bendiga, mama. And Toji, buenos dias. So yes, so that's it. You know, we got to do what we got to do. It's about commitment to thyself. Stay hungry for what you want. Hold yourself accountable. It's so hard. All of that stuff that sounds so beautiful, and you hear people talking about it, like I'm gonna do that. But if it's never been part of your persona, take your time with it. You can achieve it. You will achieve it if that is your focus, if you put all your might behind it. But it is very difficult. You know, it is very difficult to hold ourselves accountable when we've always lived, you know, just like go with the flow type of thing, like me. So to hold yourself accountable, it gives you like a great joy. It makes you feel like you're an adult now. Here I am 53 and I was adulting yesterday because for the last couple of days, I didn't want to speak on it until like past 3 days. And I was holding myself accountable to this one project. And today I finished it and nothing else got done. It was all focused on that project. And I didn't feel guilty like I normally would. I didn't feel bad. I was like, just do that, you know, eat, drink my tea, go back to do that. And I'm just really excited about it. So don't give up on yourself, no matter what the project is. Losing weight, tightening up, being a good mom, you know?
Ooh, Kathy, that sounds so good. Butterscotch caramel coffee with caramel macchiato creamer. Dang.
Wow. Abuelita's authentic foam milk in the pot. You stir and you stir. I add cloves to my coffee grounds. And that's it. You stir the milk, and my milk comes out like a hot chocolate because it's Abuelita's authentic. And you just stir it, and the milk just foams up.
That sounds fabulous. So listen, remember everybody, we love your support. We're really going to knock it out. We're going to throw out some numbers. We're going to come up with some numbers, if not by Thursday, by Tuesday of next week for sure. Numbers that we want to hit. What are our numbers? What do we mean by that? Everybody sets goals or intentions or whatever for the year. And we have some goals that we're setting up for Viva, and we want to hit a certain amount of subscribers on YouTube. We want to hit a certain amount of followers and likes on Facebook. We want to have a certain amount of watched videos and shares. And you all hit it last week, boy. We asked you to share and you did. We had, usually we have like 2 or 3 shares because it's usually one of us doing it that are sharing, but we had like one of them was like 12 shares. It was fantastic. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But keep up the momentum. Make sure that you directly invite people on your messenger, on your Facebook Messenger, or copy the link on YouTube, or the link of our page on YouTube and say, subscribe to these people. We're trying to figure out a way to have a contest for this because we want to be able to get prizes to give to the people who get the most people to subscribe or to like or whatever. So we're trying to figure out how to do the analytics on this to track it. But especially YouTube, where our goal really is to focus on YouTube. So make sure that you are getting out there and sharing. We appreciate it. The bigger the tribe gets, you see the comments that go on. And we want more conversation. The more people we have, the better we are. The more we could bring to the table for all of us, right? And if we get big enough, then we'll just have to have some intern to come and man everything so that they can or female everything, woman everything, so that they can keep track of the comments if they're coming in fast and furious. So anyway, but yes, thank you for those that have shared already. We really appreciate it.
And on top of sharing, listen, the tribe, I don't think besides Chanel, Carmen Nieves, good morning. Thank you for being on. I know you're driving, listening, be safe. If you ever want to be on the show, please email us, inbox us. I don't care. You know, everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has some tools to share. I don't care about any of your status or your title. You are a human, and we are services, servicing humans. We are all in the same thing. We all experience, especially today's topic. I'm sure more than half of us have experienced that in our lives. So you have the experience. You know what? You have the pizzazz. I know that you have that pizzazz because you're on every Tuesday and Thursday watching us. So that means you are like us. So I would need a whole episode. Anna,
Fine.
You know what? Let us know when.
Yep.
And you're on, because that's another thing for this year. We're taking it back to the basics. Taking it back to the basics for me means everyday normal people. So anyone who is interested in being on Viva Cafe con Leche, let us know. Inbox us at our Facebooks. If you have our phone number, text us. If you have our email us.
Good morning, Betsy Lopez. Happy to see you. Yes, absolutely. And we're scheduling out. We're actually scheduling. We're scheduled to May. So we're actually scheduling out in May. We have a couple of slots that we didn't fill yet. So here's the deal. If you know anyone that is this is what we're looking for. We're looking for 2 specific people. I think they're April shows, or maybe March. One of them is, we're looking for a fabulous woman, anyone that you could recommend that is like at least 65 years old. And the title of that show is What's Your Favorite Age? And we want somebody that's had a few ages to pass by. We can't get some like 20-something year old, oh, my favorite age was 5. We want somebody that, has lived a life and is still absolutely fucking fantastic. And older, the better, man. If you could find somebody that's even older and is just as like spitfire and badass and warrior and
doesn't mind to talk about anything, men, sex, anything. A woman who's lived, who wears her scars proudly,
yes,
puts her armor on without assistance, and that doesn't take shit from nobody. That's the type we want. And I said, I was gonna say I ain't basic. I said we're taking the show back to the basics. We're not pendeja.
Good morning, Bernie. My friend's on. Yes, the basics.
Hi, Bernie. Listen, Anna's funny. I've known Anna since her boys were like, what, Anna? Mark Anthony was about 2 or 3, and now they're like grown men with their own families. That's when I feel old. When I see people's kids that I knew when they were in diapers and now they're like men, that, it's like, wow. So here we go. Oh, my mother-in-law, whatever. If that works, Chanel, let us know. So, he was 4. And Anna's funny. So, Anna, I know you're busy. You're like Carmen Nieves, always listening to us on the go. And I love that.
Always on the go.
Incorporate us. I love everyone here who incorporates us on their drive to work.
Yes.
With the headsets at your desk, putting the phone down when anybody walks by. I love you. We love you. We admire your courage and your tenacity. So don't give up. But Anna's funny. She's quick-witted. So Anna, reach out. So we'll pick up.
That's my girl.
We have some good shows. Like
the other show, that we're looking for somebody is we're looking for somebody who's a minimalist, who like actually has a minimalist lifestyle. It could be a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. But we want somebody that lives that way and that maybe didn't live that way and then they became a minimalist. So if you know anybody who lives, like truly lives the lifestyle, not to say they don't say they're a minimalist and they're not like 100%. We're talking about somebody who truly is a minimalist. So but anyway, we have Arlene Kelly. Good morning. We're happy that you're here.
Morning,
Melissa
Arlene.
Moran is in the house. Melissa Hernandez Moran is in the house.
We
Good
were
morning.
talking about you the other day. Like, where the hell is Melissa? She brought us to the 100th episode or subscription on YouTube,
Yes.
and then she went ghost. Damn, I grew up a minimalist. Yeah, I was a minimalist for a month in my life. And that's when I walked across Spain, where everything I owned was and then I was like, I love this. We don't need Bridget, Great Rising. Look it.
Yes, Bridget's
My
in the house.
This is one of Bridget's pieces with the earrings.
Yeah, everything that she creates, you feel like such a queen.
Yes, it's beautiful. Bridget put a post up the other day. She says, I am black every day, but in February, I'm blackety black.
Yes, I loved that post. I saw that post.
Bridget, thank you, because whatever I was doing, you saved the moment, because I just laughed, and I thought that was great.
Jonathan's here. Good morning. So, wow. All right. Well, so listen, we've got a lot to talk about. So let's get through our intention. Let's get through our mantra, and then let's get rocking and rolling, because Thursday we also have it's kind of a continuation of this conversation, because we're going to have Byron on. Byron hasn't been on in a while, and we love Byron. And we're going to be talking about toxic relationships, which narcissists are a huge part of, by the way. So let's start our intention, right? So we'll set our intention. This one especially goes out to Carmen Nieves. Your intention for today is to be intentional.
Mm-hmm. And for me, to be grateful. Be grateful. You see, my eczema is itching like crazy, but I'm grateful. Be grateful. When you get dressed in the morning, first put your slip of gratitude on, and then put everything else on. Because remember, as the day progresses, you can remove the layers, but if you're still at the end of the day have on that slip of gratitude, everything went on. Everything happened as it should.
Rub it on. Rub that gratitude all over your bare skin before you get dressed. I like that.
So, and that's the word of the day. But the necklace is from Necessities 101. Look them up on Facebook, Instagram. We're going to be plugging everybody in as we plug ourselves.
Right.
Yes, that's the word.
And
gratitude.
Let's do our mantra, because you know me, I got to go out for a few minutes to go take my kid to the bus stop, and I got all my notes here. So let's do our mantra quickly. You ready? You could shout this out. You could say it in your head. You could say it quietly. We don't care. If you are able to lift your arms up when you do it, that's fine. If not, no worries. Okay. Are you ready? And if you're in your car by yourself, I want you to shout this out. Here we go. I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
That's true. I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
Well, say it again. I am magically orgasmic.
And I am beyond authentic.
And I keep it real.
Nice. Very good. Feel it, own it, and use it today. Yes. All right. Because that attitude is hugely important when you're dealing with the people that we're going to be talking about today. We're talking about narcissists. We talked about them last year. We had a 2-part, was it last year? I think it was the year before. It was 2020. I can't remember anymore. Maybe it was. But
we talked about it both times.
Yeah. But it needs to be mentioned, because we are surrounded by them. There was a quote that I had looked up, and it said something like the diagnosis rate. It says it's rare, fewer than 200,000 US cases per year. I think that's bullshit. I think that it is epidemic. Not everybody is a narcissistic personality disorder, so they don't actually have the psychological disorder according to the DSM-5, which is the diagnostic book that mental health doctors and therapists use to diagnose mental illness. But You could also have narcissistic tendencies, and we are in a world where people are entitled, and they are being raised to be entitled. And it's different to be saying that you deserve something because you honor yourself, being centered self, as opposed to being self-centered, saying that I deserve that regardless of anything else that's happening right now. So narcissists, the best way to think of them is they're parasites. Basically, they will just take for themselves at the expense. So a parasite is, if you have a parasite in your body, it survives and gets what it needs at the expense of you. You are the host, right? And so a narcissist is like that. A narcissist is a parasite. They will take at the expense of whoever they're taking from. And as long as you allow it, and as long as you don't have good boundaries, that will keep taking. And if they take long enough, you will develop narcissistic abuse syndrome, and it's a real true thing.
I have a question though.
Yep.
Like narcissists, because we've experienced them, there's also a side where what I don't want the ladies to feel like they were inadequate in discovering this, because in my experience, narcissists also have this side to them that makes you love them. And
Yeah,
it's
that's
easy
their
to disregard something. It's like a narcissist. I think the one I came across was his love language was gifting. But it was also, as soon as he gave, the narcissist would pop up like slut magic, and he was taking that and then some.
Yeah, that's what they do.
His words, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's easy to fall for one because sometimes they're very smart. Sometimes they'll be more of the gifter syndrome, and then when they want to do something or whatever it is behind, then they become that narcissist. So it's really, sometimes they're balanced, asshole, nice guy. Sometimes it's
But
asshole, nice guy, or
yeah, but that's all a narcissist. It's all done as a form of manipulation. It's done because they are very insecure, they are needy, and they want control. So they'll gift you so that they reel you in and you drop your guard, and then everything's transactional with them. So everything that they do is very specifically done for themselves and to get you to a place where they can manipulate you. And they do tend to gravitate towards enablers, because enablers have no boundaries. They have low self-esteem very often, and they can easily manipulate themselves in, which also gets those individuals have the most abuse from it. There are different types of narcissists. Some are real obvious. You look at them, they're arrogant assholes. They're loud, they're obnoxious, and then there's some that are covert, and those are the most dangerous, the covert narcissists, because they don't, on the outside to everybody else, they look like they're the coolest, nicest person, but they're not. You live at one for 9 years, and that's Napoleon syndrome. Listen, I did too. I was married to two. I've had friends that were narcissists. I have a sibling that's a narcissist. And it is when you're growing up in it, like if you had parents that were narcissists or siblings, it is not without a doubt that you would have attracted narcissists as you got older, because that's all you knew. And when there's one that's got that narcissistic personality, there's always somebody that has to be the opposite, where they're the nice one, and either they just get shunned and then spit out by the rest of the family because they're crazy, that the narcissist is great, you're crazy for thinking otherwise, or the other one stays in the shadow. And that's what happened in my family. I had one that was a narcissist, I stayed in the shadow, and the other one was like, I'm out because you're not listening to me, this person's not good. So let me tell you a little bit about like narcissists. Basically, these are some of the characteristics of them, and it depends on the type of narcissist, but they can flip-flop too. They do whatever it takes to get their own way, and to, if they have to pull out tears, they will magically. They do it with anger, they do it whatever way they can, and sometimes it's a victim. So they could be outgoing, arrogant, entitled, overbearing, have an exaggerated self-image, needing to be praised and admired, exploitative, competitive. They lack empathy. And let me tell you, they have a good way of, they're very good actors too, very good liars. They are pathologic liars. They may show empathy, which really throws you off because you're like, oh my God, they really do care. But the only reason they're showing the empathy is because you are messing with their story and who they are. So like, for instance, if you decide you've had enough and you want to leave, the narcissist, who was usually pretty much an asshole or was very detached from you, all of a sudden you say you want to leave and they pour out the affection, they're crying, all of a sudden they show like as if they're very sad and broken up about this, but it's all bullshit. Do they have levels of empathy? They do, but most of them in the end will always go with what's specific for them, because while they're crying to you and saying they can't live without you and they're loving on you and they're doing all this fun loving stuff to you, hours later they'll be out talking to a friend of theirs or their side chick or whatever it is, and they'll be talking shit about you. They'll be like as if the conversation never happened, nothing ever happened. They will never let anybody know that they were crying and upset. They let information out based on what they want to let out. They want people to see them as a certain way. So some people, they will let out certain things, to other people they will not. They block the door and they won't let you leave. That's correct. So the other things are expressions of low self-esteem, higher likelihood of expressing anxiety, depression, and shame, introversion, insecurity or low confidence, defensiveness, avoidance, tendency to feel or play the victim. They could be arrogant, take advantage of others, compete with others, be disagreeable or proneness to arguing. They could be easily morally outraged. This is a communal narcissism. These are like the people who are high and mighty, like people that have been like pastors and stuff like that, that they know everything and you are beneath them. They describe themselves as empathetic and generous, react strong to things that they see unfair. They could be vindictive. The malignant narcissists are the most dangerous, but they're obvious. They can be, they're sadists. They enjoy hurting people. They have very little expression of emotion, but they'll smile when somebody's hurting. They could be very aggressive, paranoid, and worry about threats.
So they're like a sociopath.
Yeah, they are. Like, so narcissists fall under the category of behavioral, antisocial behavior groups, like, so sociopaths, and they don't use the term sociopath so much anymore, but it's still used generally speaking, versus a psychopath. Psychopath's really nuts. Like, sociopath is they're nuts, but they're not as awful as a psychopath. Like, psychopaths are really dangerous. Sociopaths can be as well, but they're mostly manipulative. That's the biggest problem. They're mostly manipulative. So I'm going to let you take it, Gladiator Guru, and I got to run out and take my kid out. So I'll be right back.
Yeah, because I was going to ask about when you notice that you're with a narcissist, what is it that you do? Because we all know, we all listen to it. We see movies. We've lived it. Ana Laura, me with my ex. So we lived it. We experienced it. But my question to you all is, including you, Jonathan, is how long did you stay after the abuse from a narcissist? It could have been emotional. It could have been verbally. It could have been financially. They follow some type of abuse where they always make you feel like the bad person, and then they do exactly what the badass Buddha was saying. My question is, anyone, be honest and answer. How long did you stay after realizing this guy's an asshole? What the hell am I doing here? I'll wait. Yeah, and I know your story with your twins and your little boy, but you stood your grounds. I know your story. You didn't tolerate it. You still did your thing, and then you went home with the kids. They did that, but you were still your strong-willed person. What I want to say is 6 months. Okay, Chanel. Me was 2 years. Even with my friends and family, it's kind of difficult. A year too long. I stayed almost another 4 years. Wow. Then your son. Well, that's why you almost stayed, because he had to be born. Things have to happen according to the timing of God and of the universe. This is true. We are our own tool shed. We don't need to borrow tools from anybody's shed so that we can complete ours. All you got to do is sharpen the shit that you already own. A lot of people go and they feel that they can't make it on their own, or that they deserve that treatment because of karma, for which was my thing, because of me hurting someone else that I loved, and then I meet this asshole, and that was karma for me. Then you wake up, right? The thing is, the reason I say this is because I went through it. This isn't stuff I read. This isn't stuff that I deny. You own all the tools. Your shed is intact. Stop worrying about who has a sharper tool, who has a shinier tool. When you meet somebody like that, analyze, study, follow your gut, because they are sneaky little fuckers. They will pretend that they're your knight in shining armor. You know, they'll do whatever it takes to keep you at a place where they want you to do, again, what they do, because they're like a bacteria. They need something to feed on. They can't stand on their own. See, you can. That's why they work so hard to keep you like this, because they know you're that butterfly that no matter what's going to happen, you got a little cut in your wing or maybe a little flappy, you're still going to get up and move on or leave. So my question, we can listen to all the stuff about narcissists because we still need to be reminded, because love has that way. We have that way of turning the word love into something that is not, and then we fall. We're prey, that web of deceit. So learn everything you can about a narcissist. What are the signs and everything? But my way of teaching the women, my way of speaking to the women is tighten up and realize. Because you can always say, well, I didn't, blah, blah, blah. Well, we're at the age now where the information is in abundance and you are recognizing your courage and your strength. Desert, good morning, love. So now it's time to say, no más, right? And you can be there for your sister, friend, cousin, who you can see is going through something. Go ahead, Laura.
Yeah, the buses are running late, so I'm just gonna like come in and then jump back out again. But so I'm keeping an eye on her while she's outside. There's two parts to it. You learn about narcissists, and then you learn how to recover from the narcissist. Because and I saw Bridget's question. So is it? You know what? I've met so many narcissists, and they're all different signs. Like all of them.
Ana Laura said Gemini, like without hesitating.
Yeah, well, and I've known some that were. You know what it is that there's it's believed to be there might be some genetic predisposition to some of it, but it's mostly the way they're raised. Narcissists are raised by very enabling parents or narcissists, so they get this entitlement piece, and what they do is they learn very quickly how to manipulate. Kids are amazing. They can pick up manipulation tactics at a very young age, and by the time they're like in their preteen age, they can actually utilize the manipulation to their advantage.
Are you kidding me? Mateo's 4. He's already learned how to manipulate his mom.
Yes, right. And the thing is that, but manipulation isn't necessarily malicious, like people can manipulate people all the time. It doesn't mean they're being malicious. It's just they want their way, but when you are dishonoring somebody and you are doing everything for you, that is a narcissistic quality, they have certain traits that are really common. So sometimes you'll read that they'll say, well, the real personality of the narcissist will come out. It will only come out for certain things, because they are very aware of the fact that sometimes their behavior is not socially accepted. So they are very good about guarding their behavior in public. That's why a lot of times when a woman is in a narcissistic relationship with a man, the man, everybody, like their friends, family members, they'll be like, oh my God, he's so nice. What are you talking about? And they make it seem like you're crazy. Like everything that you're saying, no, you don't understand. He's not that way at home. Like he's like that way to you, but he's not that way to me. They won't believe you because he doesn't come across that way. Most of them will be charmers. they'll like they charm their way into conversations, or they come across very funny or very enlightened. That's a big one nowadays, is that they're this very enlightened individual, and they speak in such a manner that it makes them sound like they know more, and they're very grounded, and it's a lot, and they're grounded in bullshit is what they really are.
Or claiming to be authentic when you can see right there like Swiss cheese walking around. But they do that because they use all these big words to as a, it's a facade. It's smoke and mirrors. But I still say, look what Kathy said. This is why I put it up. How she walked away from her oldest daughter. And you know what? That's courageous, Kathy. You know why? Because of our children, we feel like bad parents. Oh, I can't do that. Then what if something happens? I'm gonna feel guilty. It's still another heartbeat. It's still another person. And that's how, see, when we allow our children to just, because they're our children, what we're doing such a great disservice. So I commend you for that. And I know it's painful, and I'm hoping that things can work up. But you're absolutely right. I think I've always been the hardest on my kids. I didn't let them, wherever they did it is where they paid for it. Why? Because if I didn't teach them, the world was going to teach them a whole different other way. So I commend you for that. And I know it's difficult. And, I pray for peace and comfort for your heart so that your mind stays focused. What does Jonathan say? Yeah, it happens to us because it's like a shocker, right? It is shocking. But remember, we beat ourselves up, but remember the strength and the courage it took for you to even ask yourself that question in the midst of it all. See, when people want to repeat, as a life coach, and they want to repeat their story to me after several conversations, I stopped them. I said, listen, I don't want, we already talked about your story. We shared how we feel about it, but I don't want to hear what happened to you. I don't want to hear about the trauma. What I'm ready to listen to is how you got out of it, step by step, because that tells the story of the power within, the self-belief, the self-love, and the self-trust to get you out of any situation. So for you to even ask yourself that in the midst of it was good, because then you can analyze it unbiasedly. Like, okay, this is my partner. They're like a real asshole right now. I can't stand them. They're doing everything contrary to what we said we were going to do. When you step back and you're like, no, let me get out of this bubble, and you start looking at and evaluating the relationship, you're going to see sometimes they have more good traits than not. And it could be their insecurities. It could be the people that they were around that they dragged that those bad influences with, or they can just be truly a narcissistic asshole. But you have to observe that and realize and understand, is this worth me fighting for? Because sometimes we're placed in each other's lives to help that person see the light, to guide that person away from what's been hindering them. Sometimes it's just an assignment and we got to do it. But to ask yourself that in the midst of it is where your strength just showed itself. So never discount yourself for staying somewhere, especially if you had that thought. Just analyze, do the homework in here and in here. Even if you got to write a journal about the person, learn them. Now that you woke up to them,
journal though.
now that you woke up to them, now you get to study them. Is it worth me staying? Is it not? So, and that's totally up to you. What was he saying? Yeah. And it is hard. Good morning, Janice, my son-in-law. Yeah, and he would write things down. Look at that. So yes, that's what you got to do, because not there's narcissists that really grew up really bad. And then there's some that are just assholes. But who are we to judge? Let's put, if you know somebody like that, even with anything in life, just have more discernment. And that's just teaching you how to judge well, if you must judge at all. Because we grew up on survival mode, so we didn't trust anybody, and we questioned everything. He looks kind of suspect over here. I don't like her. Look at how she put her makeup on. And you know what? It takes years to get rid of that. So just using more discernment in your life helps you out.
Yes. You have to, it's about awareness, right? And so you've got to, because especially if you've been in the relationship a really long time, there is a very, very good chance that you have narcissistic abuse syndrome. And you have to start just, like just listening and listening to conversations and paying attention. And like, Gladiator Guru said, Jonathan's what, start maybe on the sly or like write stuff down. But here's some common feelings that you tend to feel when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, whether it's your significant other, a family member, a parent, or a sibling, or a friend. Feeling not good enough. This is how you tend to feel about yourself. Self-doubt and second guessing yourself. Chronically apologetic. Confusion and as though you are losing your mind. Helplessness and hopelessness. Sadness and depression. Feeling anxious and worried. Feeling unsettled. Anhedonia, which means that you just have no desire to do anything. Feeling of shame, mental and emotional exhaustion. There's certain things like terms that are really common with narcissists, right? And I'm just going to say them really quickly, but and you will, and if you've come across these, like this type of behavior, and then I'm going to actually give some sayings, like some common expressions that you'll hear from them. And when you hear something that makes sense, I want you to type it in and just put yes. Oh my God, that's it. Yep, I've had that one. Whatever you want to say.
But
So
I have
first,
a question before you
yeah.
start.
Uh-huh.
When you're doing a journal on somebody and you save it, like in your drawer or in your own personal belongings, because you said be careful, make sure you hide it. And my question is, if they invade your space and take that journal out, like, and they read it and they shouldn't have, what do you think will happen? Because I think if you're bold enough to write a journal, I don't think you have to like hide it like you're a thief or that you're doing something wrong, because that also adds on to your body and your spirit. So explain that part, because like, why would they have to hide it?
Oh, because what you're writing is your own personal stuff. And especially if as you're learning about the person, and then as you're thinking that maybe you want to leave this person, you don't want them to be privy to any of that information. The moment they know that you're on to them, that you're starting to understand them, that you're starting to figure them out, they will shift. They will shift because and then they'll throw you off, and then you'll start to question yourself, because that's one of the things that they do. It's called gaslighting. Gaslighting is where they say things to make you think you're crazy. Like they will twist things in a way that you start questioning your own self. Like basically, remember that song, "It Wasn't Me," Shaggy's "It Was," just say it wasn't you. Call me on camera, just say it wasn't you. I mean, it was, and that's what they do. Like you could have hard proof of something that they did, and they will twist it so much that you'll actually think that, oh my God, it couldn't possibly, this has got to be wrong. And so that's what gaslighting is. And so when you have that journal, that's your savior. That's you keeping notes. That's you deciding what you want to do. And you don't want them to see that. First of all, narcissists never think they're narcissists anyway. Like if you said, oh, you're a narcissist, they're going to be like, no. The way you know the difference. So if somebody said to you and you weren't, say, I think you're a narcissist, you'd be like, no, I'm not. And then you'd stop to think and you'd be like, well, am I? Like you'd start to think in your head because you'd question it, because that's what a compassionate individual does. They start to think, oh, do I have, am I doing something that's rude or whatever? A narcissist will flat out deny it. They'll be like, no way, that's not me, blah, 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 because they don't have they lack the empathy and the compassion to be able to see from another perspective. So that's always kind of an interesting thing. And to call a narcissist, you have to be really careful with that. Like you have to be ready with your guns ablazing, because when you get them mad, especially if they've been known to be aggressive, it can be a very scary place to be. And if you're not strong enough to get past that, I would not suggest calling them out on it. You need to be covert. If they were covert,
domestic violence to me. Like a woman should be afraid. What would you recommend to a woman in a situation coming from one, myself coming from? Would you say just wait it out, or would you say figure it out and get the hell out? Like, why would you stay with someone? See, because when I was like, okay, you did this twice, that's it.
But that's you.
But what I'm saying is, yeah, I would. And that's what I want to teach women, whether you were raised like me, whether you were born like this or not. But I'm saying we can all do it. We are
Yes.
own super fucking heroes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what I'm saying is, whether you think you're weak or not, and if you feel that if you tell a narcissist he's a narcissist or she's a narcissist and they pull a knife out, then why are you going back? What are the steps somebody could take? There's always a safe place for you to go.
Right. Well, so here's the deal. When they get to be that violent, sometimes that is the push that will get somebody to run out of the house and not come back or call the cops or whatever. But it's the covert narcissists. It's the ones that for years have systematically knocked you down to a level where you're so dependent on them that you're financially dependent on them. You can't, there's nowhere for you to go. You've lost friends, family members because you've isolated yourself because they've made you isolate yourself. So see, you went into a narcissistic relationship because you had your guard down. Narcissists are really good actors and actresses at, in the beginning, they come across as one way, but then eventually they'll start to show their colors. You were already a badass. You've been a badass since you were younger. So you had that fight in you and you only take so much and then you're out. But for the vast majority of people who are swept into a narcissistic relationship, they are very insecure individuals. They are, and they're very easily manipulated. And I'm saying this from experience. Do I like to admit that I was very insecure and I was easily manipulated? No, but that was my reality. And when you're in it, you don't know how to get out of it because you've allowed yourself to be put into a situation where it's really hard to get out of. It's
And
any
that's
abuse.
my question. That's my question. What are the tools that we can do to somebody? Because it's not, the asshole's going to be an asshole, no matter how you dress him, no matter what job he has, no matter how much love you had for her or him. The narcissist is always going to be there, no matter if a sweet talker.
The plan. Exactly what Anna's saying.
I'm all about wake up and forge forward. And now you're here, and they might have taken away your self-esteem. They might have made you feel or had you in a situation where you become codependent. So, okay, this is the narcissist story. I want to hear about the warrior story. I want to hear, how are you going to get out? Who are you going to reach out to?
That's it.
And you can, because we focus so much, and I love this back and forth because I'm on one side, you're answering the other. Narcissists, they're going to be like that.
Yeah, they don't change.
Choice. Whether don't complain. I don't want to hear you complaining and making yourself feel worse, because if I know you, if I want to know you, I want you to always feed your spirit kindness and love and gratitude, right? So if everything, take focus, ten cuenta when you're speaking, and if it's always so negative, you need to check yourself, because that person isn't going to change. You already know this. You've been in it. So what are you going to start doing for you in the process of being with this narcissist to prepare yourself to get the hell out?
There we go. And this is perfect. So Anna's really putting, I'm right there with you, Anna. I did the same thing. And it's still a process. It's still a process. So Anna said, make an escape plan. And sometimes it might take a certain period of time for you to escape. It's not like I'm done and I'm out. Sometimes that is. But sometimes the escape plan has to be a little bit longer. Getting finances, taking money and putting it to the side when you can. Asking friends to help you that really, really want to be there for you. And if they're not there for you, then get some new friends that have been there before and will help you. It's just like somebody who's been abused, and you have those groups of people that come in and literally grab the woman and the kids out of the house and escape because they've been there themselves, right? Going to school, went to work, built herself up in silence while entertaining him. Yes, you keep going and pretending, because listen, you're stronger than you think, and you could be an actor or an actress yourself just to get the time going. And then I gave myself years to build to leave him. And this is really, Anna's advice is really good, and it's very true.
Exactly what I said, Anna. You have to recognize your position for this Super Bowl winning, right? And then you gotta say, stop complaining about it, analyze, figure it out, and then figure out who you're gonna go to, where you're gonna go, and what you're gonna do. It's not an overnight. It's not pack your bags and leave. I've done that also in my life, but it's about learning your strengths, and not everything's a physical confrontation. So, but it's about lifting yourself up, because everything you need, you own. And if we stop lying to ourselves by putting the blame on some other asshole for putting us through something, wake up. That's all I'm saying. As my spiritual coaching and my sacred healing, it's up to us. And if you don't know, figure it out, learn, observe, listen.
And you're not alone. That's the thing. They make you think you're alone, but you're not. You know, you can hide things and sneak things. They're not going to be on you like white on rice 24/7. They're going to say they are, they're going to act like they are, but you could get away. And I got to tell you, I love, Jonathan, that you're saying this, because most of the time it is often more a female versus a male narcissist. And you are the opposite, where you're saying that you were in a relationship with a female narcissist. And, you know, we always think that guys are the strong ones, guys are the, you know, whatever. But here's the thing with guys, okay? When you're a guy dating in a relationship with a female narcissist, these women can get you into so much trouble. These are the women that will get you to a point where you get so angry that you want to smack them or do something or throw something at you. And they're the first ones to call the cops. You're the ones who ends up getting hauled off to jail. You're the ones that get the record. And so and they're the ones that manipulate, have babies with you, you know, manipulate the system. It's just, oh, it's awful. It's awful. So don't think it's just male narcissists, both sides. Both could be just as dangerous. Both could be just as manipulative. You could be in a homosexual relationship, you know, and the one individual is a narcissist, and it makes no difference. It doesn't have to be guy, girl, guy. It could be friends. It could be family members. You know, it could be a parent. Narcissists. Here's the deal: narcissists do not change. They may get better a little bit, but they have to do the work. Like they would have to go to a therapist.
They up their game, right? They up their game.
Well, no, but they'll up their game if they want you to stay and continue the manipulation. Yeah,
they don't get better; they just up their game.
True, but some of them, there are some that have a potential, but they have to admit that they have a problem. That they have to admit that they want to change. The thing is, most of them won't do it because that is embedded. That's all they know, and so for them, they'll be in such denial that they have anything wrong with them. But you're absolutely right. Gladiator Guru's right. They'll up their game and they'll switch it. So like these are the people that if you go to couples therapy, they will be able to manipulate the therapist because they're going to love bomb and say how they're sorry they were that they did this and all of a sudden take full responsibility of what happened. And the therapist will be like, oh, well, he's so willing or she's so willing. And it's all bullshit. Do you know that a lot of therapists have no idea how to deal with a narcissist? So when they have couples come in, they should have special training just to deal with narcissists because they're so common now. And if you're a therapist that could be manipulated by a narcissist, then you need to go back and learn some techniques because you are not helping the individuals that the one that's on the receiving end of this.
Just like the police officers that need constant training on domestic violence when they go to the houses. So it is, you know, and that part they do.
So Kathy says she walked away from a younger sibling, said no to her a few years ago. She wanted me to be and do as she wanted. Yep. Resulted my mother giving up her life for me in 2019. My sister tried to come after me and told my husband I was not feeding into her crap. She tried to make me question my own light. She only feeds off the money, off the dead, and tried to come after me and my parents' money. There was no money to get. Love above all. January last year, the judge ruled for my parents. Yeah, listen, most of the time, if you are in a narcissistic relationship as an adult, okay, if you've attracted a narcissistic spouse, significant other, whatever, chances are you were raised in a narcissistic element. Somebody in your family was a narcissist. Could have been one, could have been multiple. Or you could have had, even if sometimes what happens is if you have been abused by a narcissist, you will pick up narcissistic tendencies because that's all you know. But those people can be helped. Like if that's the case and you have narcissistic tendencies, like if you catch yourself being that way, manipulating a situation, you can get help with that because you're going to realize that that's just like, I don't want to be that way anymore. But a narcissist will never have that because they want their own way. They are not going to give that up because they are so insecure. They need to feed. They're like as we said before, they're like parasites. They need to feed. If they do not get that fix, they will go to somebody else to get the fix, but they will try to stomp you out. Like they do things like they're notorious for cheating, like the most narcissists, or they're notorious for doing the total opposite. They are like ridiculously whatchamacallit, what's the opposite? They're ridiculously loyal. Like, and they'll make note of it all the time. Like they have to say it all the time. They have to say it all the time. When in reality, what it is they really do want to cheat on you, but their twisted up mind is saying, but if I do that, then I, whatever. But vast majority of them though are known to be cheaters. They're known to be pathological liars. Everything is for they do is for a fix, and it could be sexual fix, emotional, mental fix, does not matter. There is no border. They have no boundaries. They have and the thing is though that they will throw out a lot of times, this is very interesting, they'll say things to you that actually are the truth about what they're doing, but they'll accuse you of it, or they'll call you out on stuff when in fact they're the ones actually doing. And some psychologists believe that it's their way of repenting a little bit, to like, so if you've ever been accused that you were the cheater when in fact the other person was the cheater, that's a little bit of ways that they try to repent. They have a teensy bit of empathy, like teensy bit there, or guilt, but it doesn't last.
Yeah, he'll say, well, it's very hard, right? So what you're saying is they have all of these
mine too, Anna,
little mannerisms. They have all these like archived techniques of how to work in every situation. And so there's really no chance that they would ever flip and become a non-narcissist, right? That's one of the things you're saying.
Yes.
And for the person to be aware, like when they realized, wait, something's not right here. When you're out of that newlywed state of mind and you start picking up on certain things, what would be your suggestion to them besides taking notes, or like?
You've got to reach out to people that that can help you, will listen to you, and so that they will give you freedom if you need it. So if you need to run out and stay with somebody, like you need to have all those backup plans. You need to educate yourself. You need to do the work on yourself and say, why did I attract a narcissist? Like I was a super attractor. I attracted, if you were an asshole and narcissist, oh my God,
you were the magnet.
You came to me. So you have to do the work, because there's always two, like, but you're not in charge of the narcissistic behavior, but you've enabled it, right? And so you have got to look at yourself and say, what do I need to change? What do I need to do differently? What do I need to learn about myself, get stronger? And then little by little, create that plan. Like Anna was saying, decide, okay, I want to be out by this time. What do I need to put into place? Do I need to find a place to live? Do I need to just let go? And the scary part is, and I think this is where a lot of people are challenged, including myself, is that sometimes you literally just have to go. Like you're like in, what is it? In witness protection,
you can't walk away from anything in 0.3 seconds, that because you don't attach yourself to anything, but you save your person. And yeah, 3 seconds flat. It was from the movie Heat. Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, my favorite actors. And he had a beautiful house, and he says, there's nothing that I cannot walk away from in 3 seconds flat. And sometimes we hold on to material things and we use that as a scapegoat for saying, well, I just bought this, well, I just bought their house. It'll all burn down, but you'll still walk away. So that's how you got to value you, not things. My father always said, don't have anything that can't love you back.
But I was thinking more in terms of sometimes family, friends. Like you've got to get away from them sometimes to be able to heal yourself, and get away from, especially if the narcissists has gripped into family and friends, and again that they're this great person and you look like the crazy one. Those are that term they use is called flying monkeys. It's when they get the friends to come in and like third party validation. They get their friends in to say, oh no, he's not like that, or she's not like that. You've got to, that doesn't even make sense,
And that's why you saying that, look what Jonathan wrote. Once I figured it out, I waited for something to happen that I knew was wrong. I blew up and acted like her. She didn't see it coming. And
Yes.
that was my reason. And that was like a great strategy. But and that's the thing. Who gives a shit when we stop worrying about what other people think about us and worrying about labels that other people put on us, then we can walk stay in our lane and walk in our truth. Oh, you don't believe me? Okay, then I'm sorry. I thought, whatever the case may be, believe in yourself. And it's hard, and I'm not saying it's not, but you got to balance it out. You're so much studying him. Look at yourself in the damn mirror. Give yourself as much time to study what you need to improve on and what you need to tighten up. And then you can reach out to the person or people and so what if they don't believe you? But sometimes family, it's hard because they trick them, but they still got love for you. Sometimes people won't intrude unless you say, listen, I'm going through this. I don't know what to do. You have to speak up. Be the ambassador in your life across any situation. Across whether it's your father, whether it's your brother, whether it's your husband or your lover. Be the ambassador to your life and figure shit out. And we all have weaknesses. Go and revisit them and see if you can change it. Because you know what? You read in the papers, there's too many of us dying over relationships that we stay in that start off as narcissistic. And because you bicker back, it becomes a violent union. So,
or people have killed themselves. The other person's killed themselves over because they feel like they couldn't get out. They couldn't escape it. Here's one thing. We're almost at the end, and we could seriously just keep having a conversation about the everything. But here's something I want you to consider, okay? Because this is about you. If you are in a toxic relationship, and this is going to play into Thursday's conversation with Byron, okay? So just take this as food for thought into Thursday's conversation, okay? Think about this for a minute, just hear the words that I'm about to say to you. If you feel any of these things with regards to your current relationship, maybe it's your relationship with your parent or parents, your relationship with your sibling, a friend, okay? In other words, it's toxic and unhealthy, okay? Disassociation, you pull yourself, you avoid, okay? You use anything to distract yourself from being around these individuals or having conversation, but you're physically there with them. You binge eat, you binge watch things, you binge on social media, anything to avoid actually dealing with the situation. You have anxiety, depression, you're paranoid, lack of self-care. You put aside your own basic needs and desires and sacrifice emotionally and maybe physically, and you worry about all the other people. You have health issues. You're getting sick all the time. You mistrust others. You have suicidal ideation. It doesn't mean that you're suicidal. It means that you have dreams of killing yourself in different manners to get out of the situation that you're in. Not that you would necessarily go through with it. It's just almost like you're daydreaming it, okay? Or you harm yourself in some way, or you could have suicidal thoughts. You comparing yourself to others and you blame yourself, that you think that you are the wrong person or you're not good enough. That's why they do what they do. That's why you're not getting any love. You self-sabotage, you self-destruct. You have fear of doing what you love and achieving success. You've put all your stuff aside to give to this individual and you have lost yourself. You start gaslighting yourself. You start thinking you're crazy. What am I, crazy? Why would I want to leave this? Look at how good this person is. Like, they do all these things for me. I can look away at those other things that they do because look, they provided me with a good house, a good income. I have great kids, and then if I leave, all of this would have to go and it's going to screw up my kids. Let me tell you, if you raise kids in a house with a narcissist, that is screwing them up. Okay. Isolate self from everyone. If you are finding that you are isolating yourself, friends are asking you to come out and you're like, no, 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 that is a red flag. It's aside from the fact that this individual has isolated you, when in the beginning it started off that way, where you would want to go out with your friends or family and they'd be like, no, no, oh, no, I'm going to miss you too much. You want to stay with me.
How are you going to leave me?
Yeah. But then all of a sudden now you're finding yourself doing it. Like, people reach out to you and you're like, no, I can't, because you're abused. You're abused. You already know the routine. It's like telling a dog, don't do this. And then you put the food down and the dog won't do it because they know they're not supposed to. They become obedient, and that's what you've become, is obedient. So you have to be that disruptor. You have to be aware of it, write these things down, and say, oh God, this is it. I got to get out of this.
Yep. And you know what? Material things are just that. They're either replaceable or you didn't need them anymore. It's not a loss. It is not a loss when you walk. Except for my husband who died here, I've walked away from every one of my relationships. Anna knows. We all moved to Florida together when we all left our men. And so what happens? And I have no regrets. I collected antiques for 10 years. He sold most of them. But I walked away. The only thing I took was my kids, our clothes, and my books. I traveled 20 years with certain books that I still have in my library. Everything else was just everything else. And my sense of style changed too. You know, with every goodbye, I said hello. With every goodbye, I said to them, I said hello to me. So that's what we need to do. Enough with, oh, they manipulated me. I get it. It happens. We were all there. But it's time to put your big girl panties on and say no mas. And if I am for anybody, I am for me. And whatever flows, flows. And it's easier said than done, but it's doable. And look in the mirror. And if you're in this situation, and no matter how much love, money, or how great the sex is, look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I worth my own happiness? Am I worth the freedom I was born into this world with? Nothing was, at that point, that was a gift. Are you? So that's what you got to ask yourself. And then if you answer yes, 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 then him or them and all the material shit don't matter. Because what's the saying? People who mind what you're about to do don't matter. And those who matter will not mind.
That's right. That's such a beautiful saying. That is such a beautiful saying, because it's true. When you're with a narcissist, they always mind. They always have a problem with it. There's certain things they might be okay with, but the minute it crosses what they believe, they feel, is their story, that is such a true freaking statement. You know,
and I have to go, but go ahead. I'm sorry, badass.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say that. I know we have to go too, but I was just going to say that if you what you do gets questioned by somebody that is supposed to love you all the time, if you get, why are you doing that, or you always have to defend yourself or explain why you're doing something, that's enough bullshit already. There's a difference between explaining it because they're generally interested. Oh my God, what is it that you're working on? Tell me about it. Versus, why are you doing that? It's all in the question and all in the way that they do it. What the hell are you doing that for? What all of a sudden you're interested in that? When you start getting those kind of questions, they're nervous. They're nervous because they don't want you to know things, because that's going to interfere with their story. And so we could keep going on and on about this.
But all I'm going to say is, if you find yourself in any situation that we spoke about today, at any level, walk the fuck away, because ultimately you're giving the narcissist your energy and your strength, and you are handing him the lock for your cage.
Yes.
It's all you. At the end of the day, we are not strong whatever level you start at, like weak laying on the floor, right? With no energy because they suck the life out of you. And you still have that thought, you're ahead of the game. Keep having those thoughts and keep rising and rising until you're standing firm on both 2 feet. It's not going to happen overnight because he didn't brainwash you overnight. So you know what? Enough like saying, well, they have me this and because of them. No, it's because of you. Now find that inner strength and say, bye, bitches. Walk on. Walk into your life. You're not walking out of their life. Never look at it like that. Yep. You are not walking out of their life.
You're walking into yours.
Walking into yours. So
yes.
every I say hello, because I am a child of a king.
And you know, we this is what we're coaches, you know. We take different approaches, but Gladiator Guru is a badass bitch. She's always been that way. But at the same time, she's spirit. She's grounded, you know, and she works to build up people, women, that have gone through stuff like this. And I do too. I have, individual and group coaching sessions. And that's what I specifically focus on, is working with women that are 35 and over that have been in a narcissistic relationship or dealt with depression or anxiety, because I've been there. And so that's what I specifically work with. And so if you need help, get the help that you can, from anybody around you that's willing to help you. But if you need beyond that help, then you have a choice of going to a coach. You have a choice of going to a therapist too, maybe even both. But do it, because you have got to fix yourself. You're not going to be able to get far with the broken wheel. So we could help you repair that wheel and get you the hell out of there nice and quick.
That's your job. You were
Yep.
born with that assignment, to be loving, graceful,
Yes.
and kind to yourself. It all starts with self. Let's do this.
Yep. So thank you for indulging us, staying on an extra 10 minutes. Such a great topic. We probably should have another show on this probably in June to check in. This will be continued on Thursday with Byron, because we're going to be talking about toxic relationships, with most of them are with narcissists. So this will come up again. Okay. So definitely be here for the Thursday and watch this show again. Share it with anyone that you know that needs to hear it. And if they need any further information, they could set up consultations for free with either Gladiator Guru or me, because we can have conversations about this and we can get them into the right direction.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
Lydia Villanueva jumping on last, but hey, honey, go back and rewind and watch. We're just glad that you showed up. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. We really appreciate it. Any last words, Gladiator Guru?
Nope. Stay tuned on Thursday and share this with anyone you need to, and watch it for yourself. And remember your strength. Take your power back and live in your peace.
Yes. All right. And that was beautiful, Gladiator. Such beautiful words of wisdom that you have had today and shared with everybody. So thank you. You are a guru. So everyone, thank you so much for coming on. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, remember, look around and breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.